So this year, EA Games wanted to troll the gaming community by being like, Command and Conquer for mobile. And everyone turned into them. But when Blizzard did the same, and it was like, Diablo for mobile. You got an army of video games journalists doing damage control for them, doing the PR battle for the multi-million-dollar company at the expense of the readers and gamers. It's like, mobile gaming is a market predominantly for females. If you do not like mobile gaming, you are a misogynist. Basically a wife beater. Let's be honest about it. Just come out of the closet. Just tell us that you beat your wife, you sick sadistic gatekeeper. And that was the conversation that went on the internet. But now it seems that EA wants to redeem itself. And they announced Command & Conquer Remastered and Red Alert Remastered. And everyone is like, oh my god, V, you gotta talk about this. You gotta talk. I don't care, okay? I really do not care. These are games that were utterly amazing at their time. They were the best games that I have ever played in my childhood. Not gonna lie, like the cutscenes from Red Alert, oh my god, it looked like an actual movie. It was brilliant. For those of you who don't know, Red Alert is the story of Einstein going back in time and preventing Hitler from ever gaining power. And by doing so, he averted World War II, or so he thinks. Because it turns out that instead of the Nazis appearing, the Soviet Union became the most powerful nation in the world and declared war. So you still get World War II, except it was the Soviets versus the Allies. Command & Conquer is basically set in a spin-off where the organization behind the rise of the Soviets to power were a multinational terrorist group called NOD. You know, like all these strategy games were very good for their time, but I don't think they will stand up to date, even with the remastered. The problem is the balance. The game is incredibly unbalanced. Like, when you talk about Red Alert, the Soviets, they got the Tesla coil, which is incredibly powerful, and they also got the Apocalypse tank. And what do the Allies have? I mean, yeah, they got a map hack, and that's pretty much it. So I don't see them being as anything more than a nostalgia hit. It's like, oh, by the way, you know, try to play this. And it's like, yeah, I guess I'll enjoy it for the first 2 hours, and then I'll be bored again. Oh, and the Soviets also had, like, that submarine, which managed to do a lot of damage by launching missiles towards the land. And they got the nukes. Yeah, like, the Soviets are definitely the most OP faction. So, no, like, I'm not excited about it. I would have been more excited if they would have made Red Alert 4, or if they would have remastered, I guess, Red Alert 3. That was very competitive. That was, like, a really good game, in my opinion. The story, the campaign was kind of boring, but the actual multiplayer aspect of it, that was excellent. Command & Conquer's 3, the Tiberium Wars 3, that was also very competitive and quite fun to watch, to people going at it in multiplayer. But this is just like, meh, I guess, you know, it's, I would have rather see another Dune game. Do you guys remember that? Like, Dune was so good. I mean, you got, like, Dune 2000, and then you got Emperor Battle for Dune, which was the utterly most spectacular graphical-wise strategy game of the time. You know, you look at it now and it's like meh, but at the time it was so cool. And I really love the fact that they finally gave the Atreides some balls. Like in previous versions of Dune, the Atreides were, I don't know, like they tried to portray them as these kind people, but they seemed very cowardly. And in the new game, in Emperor Battle for Dune, they were like, oh, for the Duke, you know, for House Atreides. And finally, they had some balls. I really loved it, honestly. I think there might be some legitimate, like, legal issues why they can't make another Dune game, which is kind of sad. But then again, maybe it's actually not that sad, because now every time they make a game, it turns out to be woke as hell. And it's basically a cash grab for microtransactions. So I'm pretty much thinking that, you know, maybe it's a good thing they don't make Dune. You know, maybe in 10 or 20 years when the environment and the business changes a little bit, Because right now, I think if they would push out a new game, it's going to be a microtransaction fest. But here's the thing that really pisses me off, and it should piss you off as well. I looked at E3. Everything from E3 was dull. There were like 2 or 3 games that I actually liked, but anything else was just innovative, boring, like utterly bland type of video games. Basically like corporations looking at what worked in the past and trying to, you know, copy that into their new game. And it was really boring. But then BlizzCon came along, and again, like, very boring. Nothing excited me. The only things that excite people is remasters. Like, they actually have to go back in time in order to pick a game that used to be good, and that excites people. New games seem not to excite people. What the fuck was it exciting at BlizzCon? Seriously. Like, oh, look, the new patch for World of Warcraft. Oh, that's exciting, isn't it? Oh, Diablo for mobile. Are you hyped? And then they finally release, oh, you know, Warcraft 3 Reforged. And by the way, like, Reforge is something better than Remaster. Like, this would actually be a good thing. If they would restart the franchise of Red Alert, you know, balance the units, give new models to the units and that type of thing, I think a lot of people would play it then. I think I would have been hyped. But if they're just going to, oh yeah, we're going to increase the resolution to 4K, we're going to make the music and the sounds to sound like today, meh, I guess, you know, like, I'm going to go and play it a little bit, finish the campaign, and that's it. Like, it's not going to be anything more than that. Let me know what you think. I know I probably pissed off a couple of fans. I'm sorry, but this is my honest opinion. I'm not excited about this. You know, it's lazy, cop-out, just a little bit of money grab. I'm waiting for the actual games, if you don't mind. I'm waiting for something that's just going to amaze me. I've already been amazed by these games. They've already made my childhood awesome. I don't care if I'm going to see them again. It's just like, come on.